Christmas in the garage. You guys know how it is when you've been waiting on parts to come in. They've been on back order for a little while. Parts came in.
Let's get busy.
All right, welcome back to the garage. So, I'll just go ahead and get this out of the way real quick. You should probably notice, if you paid attention to the last video, that this is not the same chassis that I was working on previously. So, piece of advice for everybody who's working on their own projects. Thoroughly check everything on your frame before you start putting a bunch of labor into it to make sure that it doesn't have any rotten spots. So I'll just come right out and say it. I missed a big old nasty spot in this frame, and I don't know why I didn't pay attention to it. I probably walked right by it a few times, and I remember thinking that spot looked a little bit nasty, and I didn't even slow down to investigate it, and I should have. And once I did investigate it thoroughly, well, by then I'd already put a bunch of time into that frame. So I had to scrounge up another frame, and I came up with this one. This was a project truck that somebody else didn't finish. And this frame is really dry. So I'm pretty happy about that. And it's got a lot of nice parts on it already, but unfortunately, I'm gonna kind of tear it apart to do my thing. So even though it's been powder coated and it's nice and clean, well, it's dirty now because it got rained on, but it's gonna come back apart because I'm not happy with the way it's configured right now. I'm gonna configure it my way. And that brings us to the second part. So I got some parts on the floor, and they're nice parts. I don't know if you guys have heard about Tinworks Fab, but look at this beefcake. This thing is a monster. That is a nice control arm. Got a 1-inch drop already built into it. Look at the welds on this thing. Look at this. Look at this. Can you see that? Is that coming through? Probably not coming through in the video. Oh well, I'll show you later. The welds are just, they're ridiculous. It's nice. That is apparently a Curry part. That is a gnarly Heim joint. That's a big joint right there. That's pretty cool. This thing's got I don't know what this weighs, but it's a lot. So, I've got my control arms. I've got a cross member with adjustable control arm points on it. Probably going to have to modify that. If Tinworks is paying attention right now, you're probably limiting your potential customer base with that particular cross member. And any of you guys that are thinking about getting a Tinworks cross member, you should probably know that I can already tell you that that is only made for a truck that's supposed to lay frame. I don't think the drive shaft is going to go through that thing without interference. So that's probably going to have to get modified because I'm not dropping my truck that low. It's going to get a little bit of a drop, but isn't going to be that low. Also got some reactive suspension parts here. I'm going to use their pan hard bar mount, frame mount, and pan hard bar. The Tinworks Fab or Tinworks control arm already has a mount in it. Let me just show you that. Hold on. Jesus, this thing weighs a lot. It's already got the bracket built into it for the pan hard bar, so I'll be able to use a long pan hard bar, which is nice. And on the frame, this is the reactive bracket. So if you're familiar with your truck or these trucks, the mount is probably about that far down right now on the frame. This is going to allow me to drop it down and come a little closer to keeping that panhard bar level. It's probably still not going to be level, but it'll get a little closer. So that's what I've got here. So now it's time to start concentrating on the rear of this frame. The front on this frame already has a square body front end in it, so all of that's done. So everything that I did on the other frame, I kind of didn't lose any ground with this one because this one's ready to go. It's still going to get some tubular control arms and stuff on it later, but for fitment purposes right now, I don't have to do anything on the front. All I need to do is concentrate on the rear and get everything done on the rear of this thing. So, and then I'm going to replace a couple of the cab mounts and stuff, so no big deal. So I'm going to get started on that. Probably going to be a few behind the scenes things to do here, and then you guys will see this here in just a little bit. It'll look a little different, and start bolting up some rear end parts and see how all this stuff fits. Just kind of excited about this. Sorry it's taking me so long to get back to you guys. I've really honestly been waiting for quite a while on this stuff, and that kind of threw me for a loop, but I'm back at it now, so start getting that figured out. And then I don't think it'll be part of this video, but maybe we'll get the cab on this frame. If the cab's on it, then the 250 straight 6 is going to be sitting in it too. So that's probably next video, but we'll see. Frame's all cleaned up and ready to flip back over and start putting the suspension on. Kind of a close-up. I filled a total of 20 holes on this frame. A lot of them were just random. And filled them and smoothed them off, and then had to re-drill 5 holes that were mainly different because of the square body front end was a lot of it. One of the holes was for that panhard bar bracket in the rear. Pro tip here for you. If you want to remove a piece off of your frame that's been riveted on, and you want to cut through the top of the rivet and use an air chisel to take it off, that's fine. Just don't cut into your frame, because every one of these little cuts that you leave in your frame is a potential for a crack. So I prefer to grind the head off of the rivet and then punch them out, because it does a lot less damage. It'll look like that. This is bad. This is good.
Tinworks.